We already discussed about limits, how to show that limit exists or limit doesn't exist. Okay? And when it comes to the continuity, it is just a little extension of this limit. That is, we say a function f of z is continuous at z0 if limit z goes to z0, f of z equal to ef of z0. It means if the limit value and the function value both are same, then I can say that the function is continuous at z0. Otherwise, it is not. It is easy to understand from a single variable calculus. Let's assume that if you have a function like this, let's say you have a small gap here. Now, as you move towards a, you can see that the limit of the function is this height. Why? Because as you move towards a, either from the right side or from the left side, you will reach, you'll be at this height L, right? So from the right side, you can see that, from the left side, you can see you're reaching this height. Similarly, from the right side also, you can see that you are coming down to this height L. So as you move towards a, the function is moving towards L. So the limit exists and it is equal to L. Suppose if the function value is somewhere else here, let's say this is what f of a, you can say that it is not continuous. Why? Because there is a break. You can see the break. Even though the limit exists, the function is not continuous. Why? Because the function value is not equal to the limit value. So we can say that it is continuous when there is no gap here. It means you have to keep this point here, right? So that it becomes a continuous graph. So in other words, the limit value of a function must be equal to the function value. Then you can say that the function is continuous at z0. Okay. So this is the definition for continuity. So only thing you need to make sure limit exists and it is equal to the function value. So let's see an example. So this is the question here. I have a question. The question is, if I take f of z equal to z divided by mod z, this is what when z not equal to 0, whereas it is defined as 0 when z equal to 0. So the question is f continuous at origin? So what is your answer? So your answer is no. Yeah, correct. So this is not continuous. Why? Because we already observed. We observed that limit z goes to 0, z divided by mod z. So this limit does not exist. We say a function is continuous when the limit exists and it is equal to the function value. So first of all, the limit does not exist here. So therefore, directly can conclude that f of z is not continuous at origin. Or in other words, f of z is discontinuous at 0. That's it. Why? Because the limit doesn't exist. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's look at another problem. So this is the function here. And it is differently defined at minus I. Now the question is f continuous at z equal to minus I? Of course, if they are asking about just continuity, we need to make sure about the points where the function is differently defined. So it is enough to check at z equal to minus I, because there only you can see it is differently defined. So first of all, let me do one thing. Let me see what is f of minus I. So as per this function, it is defined as 5. And the next thing, I'd like to see what is its limit. That is, limit z goes to minus I f of z. In other words, limit z goes to minus I, and the function here is z square plus 3iz minus 2 by z plus I. But here there is a problem. If I substitute minus I directly, I am getting 0 in the denominator. But how about the numerator? Are you getting 0 in the numerator? Let us see that. So if I substitute minus I here, I get minus I whole square. That's going to be minus 1 plus this will be 3 minus 2. Yeah, I am getting 0 in the numerator. So what I am getting is 0 by 0 form, right? So here anyway, we can't talk about L'Hospital rule. Why? Because we didn't discuss about differentiability of complex valued functions. Okay. But we can do one thing. Here, when I substitute z equal to minus I, what I'm getting is I'm getting 0. It means z plus I is a factor of the numerator. So you do one thing, you try to express the numerator as a factor of z plus I into something. I hope it is easy to see. Limit z goes to minus I. Can you write the numerator like this? Z plus I. If it is z plus I, then can I have, I want 3iz, so z plus I into z plus 2i. You can see that when you take the product, you'll exactly get this guy. So this divided by z plus I. So now you can cancel out that z plus I. So limit z goes to minus I. So which is z plus 2i. So let us substitute minus I. Now there is no problem. So now let us substitute it. So minus I plus 2i. So what I get here is I. So the limit value is I. But what is the function value? So the function value is 5. So here you can see that limit z goes to minus I f of z, which is not equal to f of 5. Why? Because the one value is I, another value is 5. They are not equal. So therefore the conclusion is f is discontinuous at 5. Now the question is, can we make it continuous? Is it possible to redefine this function so that this becomes continuous? But you should make sure you must do a small change, not the major change. Can you make a small change here so that this function becomes continuous? So what do you suggest? So what is a small change we need to do? I'm not getting it. See, we say the function is continuous when the limit value is equal to function value. So anyway, we cannot change the limit value. Limit value is I, that's it. But you can do one thing, you can change the function value, right? So here, f of minus I, it is defined to be 5. What happens if I change this guy? Because I'm just making change at one point, not at many points. I'll just change at this point at I. So I'll do one thing, I'll redefine this function. So let me call it as f star of z. So my f star of z is same expression I need to write when z is not equal to minus I. Whereas here, I'll define this to be I when z equal to minus I. So once if I redefine this function at this point, then the function becomes continuous, isn't it? So now we are able to remove the discontinuity just by redefining the function at a single point. Okay. So this kind of discontinuity we call the removable discontinuity. So therefore, here you can say that f is discontinuous at, it's not at 5, sorry, it's discontinuous at minus I. And we can discuss what kind of discontinuity it is. So I can say that f has removable discontinuity. Okay. Because we are able to remove the discontinuity just by redefining at the single point. Okay. So you can simply say one thing, sir, whenever limit exists and the function is discontinuous, then you can say that that kind of discontinuity is removable discontinuity. Okay. So when you discuss about discontinuity, you should discuss its type, whether it is removable or not. Right. Now let's do one thing. Let's look at another problem. So here is the another function which is defined like this, f of z equal to just real part of z. So this is how the function is defined, f of z equal to real part of z. Now my question is f a continuous function? Is f continuous on C? Of course, the domain of definition for this function is entire C. So that's why my question is f continuous? It's continuous on R? What is your answer? You're saying it is continuous. Okay. Why?
Sir, all real numbers are continuous.
You can do one thing. You can look at this function here, f of z, that's equal to real part of z. Let's see what it means. F of x plus iy, that equal to x. That's it. Now we could see that this function is defined at every point. For example, if I want to see what is limit z goes to z0, f of z, I can see that this is what limit z goes to z0. This is same as real part of z. And here, as limit z goes to z0, real part of z, which is just this, that is x plus iy goes to, it's like x0 plus iy0, and here real part of z is nothing but just x. So when you look at its limit, its limit is nothing but x0. So x0 is actually a real part of z0, and which is what nothing but f of z0. Therefore, limit z goes to z0, f of z is same as f of z0. Therefore, this function is continuous on C. There are no discontinuities. So the answer is yes, it is continuous. So therefore, the conclusion is f of z equal to real part of z is continuous on C. And of course, you can see that there are other functions which are continuous on entire complex plane. So you can take imaginary part of z. So if you take it, this is also continuous on C. And similarly, f of z equal to absolute value of z. You can see that this is also continuous on the entire complex plane. Right? So there are many other functions which are continuous on C. But there is something special about these functions. So you'll come to know what is that special when we discuss about differentiability. Okay, now let us discuss about differentiable functions on a complex plane, and let's see how the derivative is defined. So we'll take the same definition from, whatever you have defined over for real valued functions. The same kind of definition we are going to take. So let's assume that f of z is a function, a complex valued function, which is defined on some domain of C. And if you know that limit z, delta z goes to 0, f of z plus delta z minus f of z by delta z. So that's nothing but rate of change of this function. Suppose if this limit exists, if this limit exists, then we can say that the function is differentiable at z0. We say this is z0. And if this limit exists, you can say it is differentiable at z0, and you can see what is its derivative. And derivative of f of z at z0, that is denoted by f dash of z0, which is equal to, so limit z goes to delta z goes to 0, which is f of z0 plus delta z minus f of z by delta z. Okay, so the same definition, whatever we have taken for real valued functions, the same kind of definition we are taking here. Now let's do one thing. Let's start with a small problem. So the question is, given f of z equal to z square. Or let me do one thing. Let me start with this real part of z. F of z equal to real part of z. Now my question is f differentiable at 0? So what is your answer? And you do one thing. You apply this definition. First you see whether the limit exists or not. If limit exists, you say it is differentiable and you tell me its derivative. If limit doesn't exist, then you say it doesn't exist or it is not differentiable at 0. So do work and try to conclude. Hello? What is your answer?
1, sir.
You're saying its derivative is 1. Means you're saying it is differentiable. Okay, let's see. So what I have to do is this. So first let me see what is f of z0 plus delta z. We know what is z0 here. We are checking at 0. Here z0 equal to 0. So I can directly write this. So this is 0 plus delta z. So that is directly f of delta z. But what is f? F is nothing but real part of whatever you have here. So real part of delta z. So let me write this delta z as delta x plus delta iy. So this is what delta z I mean. Delta x plus I delta y. So therefore its real part is nothing but delta x. Okay. And if you see what is f of z0, that's what f of 0, and which is what real part of 0, and which is nothing but 0. Now we need to look at it. Limit delta z goes to 0, f of z0 plus delta z minus f of z0 by delta z. And this is nothing but limit, and you know what is delta z? It means it's nothing but delta x plus I delta y goes to 0. Of course you can write it as 0 plus 0i. And in the numerator, you know what is f of z0 plus delta z, which is delta x, minus, which is 0, by in the denominator I have delta x plus I delta y. Okay. So finally we end up with this. Limit delta x plus I delta y goes to 0 plus I0 delta x by delta x plus I delta y. Do you think that limit exists for this expression?
No, sir.
Yeah, limit doesn't exist here. Why? Because suppose if I walk along x-axis it means delta y is 0. Then in that case I get the limit as 1. Whereas if you walk along y-axis where delta x is 0, so you'll get limit 0. So these two are not equal. So therefore, this limit does not exist. Or you can do one thing. You can take this path y equal to mx. You can work with that. So here I can clearly say that this limit does not exist. Okay. So if the limit does not exist, then you can conclude the function is not differentiable. So therefore, the conclusion is f of z equal to real part of z. This is not differentiable at 0. Okay. Now I have another question. It is not differentiable at 0, but is it differentiable at any other point? So let's try to verify that. So to verify, what you can do is, here you start with z0 equal to 0. You do one thing. You take some arbitrary z0, so it works for all. Now let's see. What about limit delta z goes to 0? F of z plus delta z minus f of z by delta z. So that is limit delta z goes to 0. You know what is f here? That is nothing but real part of z plus delta z minus the real part of z by you have delta z. But we know what is the real part of delta z or z plus delta z, which is nothing but x plus delta x minus the real part of z is just x by in the denominator I have delta x plus I delta y. That's what delta z, right? So now finally we get this limit delta z goes to 0. What I get here is delta x by delta x plus delta y, I delta. Here the same thing, whatever we got it earlier, we got the same thing. And we know this limit does not exist. So this limit, so if it doesn't exist, I can say the function is not differentiable at any point. So therefore, the conclusion is f of z equal to